Hi everyone, my name is Peter and thanks for joining me at Our Worship Sound. I have something pretty simple to share with you in this video, and it just comes out of yesterday's church service, and it was something that I had to think through, and I thought it might be valuable to share my thought process with you in this video. So what we're doing is, it was at the end of service and we were transitioning from the message into kind of a worshipful response type of song, and you might be familiar with the song. It's Holy Spirit by Brian Torwalt and Katie Torwalt. And it has a bridge that goes like this. Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. The chords are pretty simple. It just goes G, D over F sharp, E minor, D over F sharp, and then the pattern repeats. So ran into a bit of an issue with it in the moment because there are a couple things that I like to aim for, whether I'm getting up at the end of service or somebody else is. One of those things is I always want to make sure that we start out at the tempo of the song because what happens is we get up there and we try to make a smooth transition, and we try to just kind of be unobtrusive and keep the moment maybe a little bit more tender. And so we start out just really slowly, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then it's time to bring the vocal in, and we either have to do, let us become more. And so something really, really terribly slow, or 2, 3, 4. Let us become more aware. So a really sudden uptick in the tempo at that point. So I always want to make sure that we start out at the tempo that we're going to end up with. So the other thing with that, though, is you don't want to be too obtrusive when you first start to come in by adding too much movement to your playing. And so that was kind of the issue that I ran into yesterday, is that even if I only played just the chords with no embellishments, I felt like that was going to be too much movement. It was going to be kind of interrupting of what was going on at that particular moment. And so what I decided to do was cut out that D over F sharp chord both times. And so what that ended up with was just one chord per measure, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just going back and forth between the G and the E minor. So giving kind of the really basic outline of the chord progression without that transition chord in between. So what was happening is I was slowing down what we call the harmonic rhythm, which is nothing more than how frequently the chords are changing. Slowing down the harmonic rhythm from every 2 beats to every 4 beats, and it just allowed for extra space to breathe and just a little bit more smooth transition into what was going on. The other thing I did was start with just pad, so I faded it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So I had the right tempo going, so that by the time it was we needed to bring in the vocal, we were already at the right tempo. And let us become, brought in the roads, more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. And I probably went through that one more time with those chords leaving out the D over F sharp. So let us experience the glory of your goodness. Then I put it back in. Let us become more aware. So it started to build a little bit by just adding a little bit of extra movement at that point, increasing the harmonic rhythm. It added to the dynamic and just beginning to build the song. So let us become more aware of your presence. So anyway, just to kind of recap what happened was, I always want to start out with the tempo that we're going to finish at. And but in the event that was going to create too much movement at the beginning to play the right tempo with all the chords in it, I just took kind of the in-between chords out and just played the first chord of each measure. And that allowed me to beat the right tempo without creating too much movement. And then starting with just pad only, and then bringing in the other keyboard part. It really made for a nice transition, and had to kind of communicate with the band members a little bit to get them to flow along with me, but we got it, and it was a good transition in that song. So I hope that was helpful in some way. Like I said, it's nothing profound, but just something that I think is worth thinking through, and some considerations for those types of transitions. So I'd love for you to be able to connect with me somehow, whether it's through YouTube or Twitter is kind of my social medium of choice, so you can follow me there at Our Worship Sound. And the other really good way to keep in contact is to sign up for free email updates through the website, ourworshipsound.com. I hope you do that so we can keep in touch and just hopefully just begin to kind of help each other take what we do to the next level and move forward in that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.